All right, we're live.
I'd like to call this Urban Forestry Commission meeting to order, and we'll start with the introductions. My name is Zoe Hoyle. I am the acting chair for the Urban Forestry Commission.
Karen McNeil, Urban Forestry Commission.
Christy Fiore, Urban Forestry Commission.
Chardon Dietrich, Urban Forestry Commission.
Kim Roney, Asheville City Council Liaison.
Go ahead.
Tyler Van Hook, Urban Forestry Commission.
And our city staff members.
Keith Aiken, Urban Forester.
Mark Foster, Public Works Arborist.
I'm Jennifer Blevins, Planning and Urban Design Department.
Hi, Chris Collins, Planning and Urban Design.
Hi, I'm Ron Wilson, Planning and Urban Design.
And our visitors.
Mike Taylor for the guys.
Stephens, Duke Energy.
Justin Brown, Energy.
Thank you, everybody. I'd like to open this meeting with an acknowledgement of Patrick Gilbert, who has been our chair for over a year. And he steered us through a wide range of issues and provided steady guidance that has allowed us to be at the point where we are today. Patrick is truly irreplaceable, and I'll miss his quiet enthusiasm and passion for our urban forests. And I would ask you to bear with me, as this is my first time as the acting chair. And if I err on procedural matters, please let me know. So first, we will approve the minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes since we did not approve 2 of them at our last meeting. So do I hear a motion to approve our minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A
Vote?
second? Yeah.
How do you vote?
Yes.
Aye, aye,
Aye.
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 So our past minutes are approved. Our next item is alternative compliance for 72 Rankin Avenue, and Jennifer will present.
While we're preparing for a presentation, might I provide some insight on procedure for voting?
Yes?
In in-person meetings, the chair may call for a vote aye, and then everyone at the table who wishes to vote so can do that at the same time. And then the chair typically would ask if there are any noes, and then you would move on. It gives everybody a chance to make sure that their noes are heard also.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. And I do have a note here. Please remind board members to speak directly into the microphones.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Blevins again. So the project that we have for you today is a Duke Energy Progress electrical substation, referred to as the Vanderbilt substation, and it is going to be located partially on the footprint of the existing substation and partially on land acquired from the city of Asheville. So the applicant, Duke Energy Progress, has been working with members of City of Asheville management in order to close a remainder portion of an unopened right-of-way and to exchange property with the city to facilitate the new substation. Asheville City Council held public hearings on the right-of-way closure and the property exchange at their meeting last week, and both were approved. So this alternative compliance application is just another step in the process. They have, you'll hear in my report, been to other boards and commissions, and this is just another step in the process to facilitate this project to provide electric service for the citizens of Asheville. So the code requirements for the project we'll start with street trees, and Unified Development Ordinance Section 711.3 D3 requires street trees along all street frontages. So in this case, that would be 6 small maturing trees along Hiawassee Street and 4 large maturing trees along Rankin Avenue. And next is screening of fences. So there is a security fence surrounding the site, and when fences are longer than 25 feet in length, UDO 7113D6 requires that they be screened with trees and/or shrubs within a 5-foot planting strip planted 8 feet apart. And so for this project, that would be trees or shrubs, 21 of them along Hiawassee and 18 along Rankin Avenue. And the next standard is retaining wall screening. This is not one that you deal with often here. It is in section 710.5 of the UDO. And there are varying standards for retaining walls, beginning at 6 feet in height and dependent on their proximity to the public street. Screening can be in the form of shrubs or attached vines for walls up to 10 feet in height. And then when they exceed 10 feet in height, the screening requirements include either vines or shrubs, and then add in 1 small maturing tree per 30 linear feet. So the wall height details for this project have not yet been submitted. Those are going to be designed by a different contractor, but it is likely that at least portions of the walls along the west side of the site and interior to the security fence would require some form of screening. So here you'll see the site. This is existing conditions. There on the north or the top of the page, that is currently a parking lot, and this was part of the land swap that City Council approved last week. And then just south or below that, you'll see the existing substation. And then here's a view just below the intersection of Hiawassee, which is there on the right of your screen, and Rankin Avenue at the lower part. So this is a view of the site existing conditions. So what is being proposed is a planting area at the northeast corner of the site, right there at the intersection. They are proposing to provide 1 small maturing tree and 32 shrubs and a variety of ornamental grasses in that planting area outside the security fence. And then along the west side, they will be providing ornamental grasses between the subject site and the rear of Harris Cherokee Casino. The retaining walls are located there on the interior of the fence, all along the west side of the site. And just because of the public utility, the electric utility safety standards, they are requesting that you recommend a waiver for both the retaining wall screening and then for the screening of the security fence, mainly in order to provide the wider sidewalks that are required in the central business district. So next we have some renderings. You'll see these are renderings of the site as it will appear once completed. This is sort of a bird's eye view from the corner of Rankin and Hiawassee. And there is a street level view, and this is the planting area right at the center of the screen, the majority of it going up along Hiawassee, a little bit rounding the corner there onto Rankin. And this is a view from Hiawassee between the substation and then the rear of the Harris Cherokee Center. And this is looking up Hiawassee Street from the corner. And there's the planting area on the left side of the screen. This is then along Rankin Avenue, kind of from across the street, sort of on Rankin Avenue, looking up at the back of Harrah's through the site. So we have evaluated the project against the code requirements, and we have also, the applicant has been to both the Downtown Commission and the Design Review Committee. Those processes are mandatory review, voluntary compliance, and the Design Review Committee did recommend this decorative metal security fence in lieu of the standard security fence that they would typically use around a substation. City Council has approved the right-of-way closure and the land swap in order to facilitate the project. And given the constraints of the site and the safety standards for electric utility substations noted in the application, we do support the request as proposed. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the standards, and we do have some representatives here from Duke who can answer any of those technical questions you might have.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any questions or comments?
I wanted to bring up that because you might be new to this process, if you haven't already asked for conflicts of interest for this or other future projects, that you would know the procedure that if someone requests review for a conflict of interest, that it would require a vote from the commission. Otherwise, the person is required to vote.
So we did, I did ask whether our member from Duke would have to be a conflict of interest, and I think Keith answered that to me.
Yeah, so I was told by legal, as long as Mr. Van Hook does not benefit financially from the decision, then he is allowed to vote on the motion.
I have a question. It's difficult to see which species were chosen. Are the plants, are any of them native plants? What percentage are native plants?
I didn't get into, I think it's a star magnolia. Mike Tarrant, the landscape architect, is here. Is it star magnolia is the tree that you've chosen there for the corner, is that right?
That's correct.
Can you talk to us about there's several varieties of shrubs and ornamental grasses?
Good, I guess this afternoon. Good afternoon. Mike Tarrant with McAdams, registered landscape architect in North Carolina and West Virginia. It is a star magnolia on the plans that are in the application. I believe at one of the other commissions there was a request to change that to a serviceberry, which we're amenable to doing so long as the height doesn't exceed 15 feet, just given the location to the existing pole and power lines that are there. The rest of the species, I can read them off to you if you'd like. I don't know the exact percentages, but they're all either native to North Carolina or adaptive to this region. So, and they're all very much urban, drought-tolerant plants that should perform really well in the specific location we've provided.
I can share the planting plan if you would like.
Thank you.
Just unplug real quick. I'm just going to try to zoom in on this. And just for the record, I am Justin Brown, the project manager with Duke Energy. So it's a little hard to see. Make this bigger. Are you able to see that at all?
I'm happy to read it if you're
No,
struggling.
it's okay. I mean, I just wanted to advocate for the use of native plants. I can't really honestly see what's going on with that, but if you are using as many native plants as possible, then support your choices.
I would just like to ask about, I guess maybe you can go to the rendering along one of, I think it's along Rankin, where it's just, where it looks like there's a road, yeah, that one there, road, sidewalk, fence. And just wondering if there's, what other options have been explored for that, aesthetically and shade-wise, nature-wise is not super appealing, I'm sure we could all agree. The place to walk by. And yeah, I'm just curious what other options have been explored and what parameters might exist that I'm not familiar with that led to that design.
So it's really just the layout of the substation equipment. We've tried to compact everything as much as we can, but still have a few drive paths to access and maintain the equipment. So in this area, this is really the only area that's been left free. There is distribution lines underground, which is why we don't have any, I guess, very large deciduous trees planned for this area. We're trying to keep things with more shallow roots. Otherwise, this is really the only free area we've had left, besides a little bit right next to the Civic Center.
I could add that based on the standards, if they were going to provide the required plantings to screen the fence, they would be giving up the entire sidewalk because it's required to be in a 5-foot planting strip. And sidewalks are definitely a priority, certainly in the downtown area, if not all over the city, of course.
And I would just add, the depth of the property from Rankin to the Civic Center is very shallow, so there's very limited. The substation can only be so close to the existing building, and that's really what's pushing this out and prohibiting us from being able to provide that standard section along that street. So we tried to do, Jennifer touched on this a little bit, but we basically took the math of what that planting strip would be in front of that fence, and we're meeting or exceeding that with these plantings and the ones on the other side of that driveway that goes back to the Civic Center. So we tried to not just blow that off, but see what we could do to kind of meet the intent of the ordinance.